Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Pushing on through until the battle's won. No one's gonna give nothing to us. Into each other we put our trust. Standing united after the fight is done.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's me, the Ninja Reviewer here. Time for another exciting review of the 7 Deadly Sins Season 2 Episode 7 review. Now, sadly, this is the only anime review this weekend due to being the One Piece episode and there's no Dragon Ball Super episode. Yeah, so, however though, speaking of Dragon Ball Super, there is going to be a video on that, but it's not what you're thinking. It's actually going to be, something else, but you'll see once I actually get it uploaded, which is not really a big deal. So, anywho, let's just get on with this week's episode of the 7 Deadly Sins. My apologies if it's about a day late. I had some crazy hours. I'd be checking my Twitter and got updated. That's the reason why. I do apologize for that. But, however, though, it doesn't really matter because I don't really have too many reviews this week, sadly. So, sadly, not too much content unless I'm going to try to do something else, which I want to do. This actually works if it doesn't fuck up or anything. I don't know. But anyways, though, let's just jump right in when it comes to this episode. Basically, it's a very simple episode this week. It's mainly a flashback episode than anything else, or kind of a flashback, if you will, or pretty much just a past, the past of Diana. Not so much of a, well, okay, yeah, you can still consider it a flashback. It's basically the past of Diana and why she is considered the sin of envy. So we actually got that in this week's episode, and to be fair, it was actually, yeah, wow, it was actually quite an episode to actually see because you could really tell how much different the Giant Clan warriors are between just regular warriors and how pride and strengthful are they really dependent on. So basically when it comes to this episode, before we get to the actual past, we get to pretty much what happened during the last episode where King notices that Diane's memory is pretty much lost, and the reason why is because Gowder used one of his erase spells once again to find out exactly the test to see exactly what will happen if that person's memories or whatever memories of particular moments are erased. And what happens is that King gets extremely pissed because Gowder's response is he doesn't really know how to feel until basically now it's like, yeah, so because of that, let's just say that Gowder fucked up. Gowder obviously just fucked up, and because of that, that's the reason why that pretty much they have to go on to the original landscape where Diana was born from, and they have to pretty much regain track of her memory. So while that happens, we actually do get a past of her backstory of exactly how she became the Sin of Envy, and she actually joined up with Meliodas. What happened is that while she was actually in the Giant Clan themselves, apparently there's this one giant. I believe her name is Dolores? Yeah, Dolores. Her name was Dolores, and Dolores was pretty much different among the other giants, where she basically didn't really want to actually fight just for the sake of fighting and strength and pride and not really all of that. Basically, she just wanted to only fight what was really necessary, or for a purpose, not just to prove, oh, we're the big, bad, mean giants, muhahaha, and yeah, and that's basically it. So basically, we get the leader, or like the female captain of that matter, Matrona, that was her name, yes. Matrona basically is the leader of the female giants, and what happens is that she trains these warriors, or not just females, but mainly just like pretty much the pro leader of these giants. And what happens is that from this particular clan, she actually trains them to become just as strong, but you know, like I said, when it comes to Dolores, she's kind of different. She basically is just like, no, I don't want to do that. I only just do it for a purpose. And of course, Matrona, she's like, bitch, I ain't gonna do. Unless you want to just become like an actual regular female, a regular mother, just, you know, have yourself a baby, and then wait, and then let your son become a warrior in your place. I'm like, yo, this bitch is savage. What the fuck? She is the most complete savage of a captain. And also you could tell she's never really had that much of that feminine side before, as you can obviously tell, even in her dying moments, especially around that time too, where she basically doesn't really, basically have that particular saying where it's like, well, I guess I was wrong, making, protecting someone to actually that gets you stronger is like the best key. But no, apparently she's like, look, you're the, well, I will get to that in a second. Actually, wait, before I actually get to that, I'm jumping way too much in here. Let's move on for the next scene. So basically after that, Diane's just going on her own, basically doing her thing to release her stress. All of a sudden, she's all these bandits going around, and basically while she was about to fight them off, Meliodas comes to the scene. He's like, hey, you can't just be running around here. And he goes like, hey, I bet all my friends will really like you. You seem really cool. Like, we're not scared I don't think they're going to be scared of you at all. I think they'll just welcome you aboard. And she's like, well, that's weird because a lot of people are scared of giants. So then he's like, well, not really so much of us, really, to be honest. And I've seen worse. I'm pretty sure Meliodas has seen far worse in his lifetime. So, again, I really don't think that's really that, frightening to him in the slightest. So basically, while that happens going around, she's thinking of him. And basically, during the time where she actually got back to base, it turns out that her friend has actually died, and because of that she got really pissed at Matrona, and Matrona basically just not understanding the purpose of this. Basically, look, we're just strong giant clan warriors. That's all we do. We fight, we eat, we get stronger, and then we die. And that's basically how we roll. Diana's like, no, that's not the way we should be doing it. We should be fighting for a purpose. We should be fighting for something, not just fighting just for the sake of fighting and just proving how freaking strong we are. So we got that out of the way. So that was actually, a pretty nice emotional moment. And basically, she's starting to remember mostly a little bit of memories of King. Because remember, most of her memories of King were just slightly a little bit there, but not too there. And she's thinking that it was Meliodas that was saying all these things about I was always love you forever, but in reality it was King. Then she's like thinking about like Meliodas, maybe have some babies with him and stuff like that. But I hate to break it to you, especially when you go further down the line and you meet also Elizabeth, and then yeah, whole different ball game there. Anyways, so when it comes to that in particular, so we have that going on. Meanwhile, there was actually a mission, and they were going to go to actually find the people who actually killed them. And apparently the actual Holy Knights are just like, oh hey, I remember you. They're like, okay, sure, so we're gonna actually help you guys out and actually fight this intruder. But nope, they got duped. So what happens is that they use some kind of power of a magic where it's like a silent sound, and apparently he used that particular sound wave in order to trick Matrona, and Matrona actually fell for it. She got caught in the trap, but in reality she's like, man, that little simple trap ain't gonna hold me. Granted, it was pretty clever, but it ain't gonna really hold someone like me down. And she's a big one. She's a big, massive, lonely. She's a huge bitch. She really is. And then all of a sudden, we just basically see her right there, and then she's actually doing some really cool magic. And her magic techniques are actually pretty damn cool. I actually did really enjoy that a lot. And then, of course, while she was basically about to actually, Diane was about to use the hardened, whatever, the hard metal. Basically, what happens is Matrona gets in the way, which I don't really know why. I'm guessing because it was a reflex. Maybe she thought she couldn't really have the guts to actually block it because of what we were talking about, etc., etc. Maybe, but at the same time, I think that's the reason why she did it as a reflex, or maybe she's finally starting to understand after she was just about to die, especially from the poison arrow, because the arrow was quickly spreading through her. And the point is, she's like, look, you have. This is the part where you basically all I did in my. The truth of the matter is, excuse me. The truth of the matter is, I only knew how to fight. I was only raised by warriors, and I only know how to fight. And I don't really know what else to tell you, but basically, you are the only one now that can protect yourself. She's like, no, I don't want to be like you. I can't lose you. You actually, regardless of our differences, you still raised me to be the warrior that I am. So, I just can't leave you behind like this. And basically, what the Holy Knights did, which they were fucking pricks about it, they basically put the blame on Diana and killing not only, but blaming a criminal of actually killing soldiers, but also her own mentor, which is complete and utter bullshit, obviously. And then after that, has been condemned to the sins of envy. And as soon as she was about to get the beheaded execution, Meliodas comes in there and she's like, orders from the higher above? Yeah, I'm gonna take her into my wing. And that's where the episode ends off. Even though it's kind of weird, the credits start and then we get to the part at the end. I don't know why certain animes do that. That is kind of annoying because then it's going to be like, oh, well, actually, no, it doesn't matter. Because if you want to go to the preview of the next episode, then I guess it makes sense. But it's like, I don't know. But it's still, I don't know why they do that. But at the same time, you know, hey, if you just want to get to the preview, it's like, holy shit, I'm going to miss something. Oh my god, what the hell. So, yeah, so that's basically it for this week's episode of the 7 Deadly Sins. When it comes to Diana's past, I thought it was really well done. I'm not gonna lie. I really did like the struggles of Diana a lot. I mean, like, you could obviously tell that she was that kind of person where she just wants to live a life where she can only fight and there's a purpose to protect someone that she really cares about. Not just basically just rootless and senseless fighting. So that's basically her main objective. And she was envy of, not only that, she was envy of Matrona's strength. She was envy of Matrona's strength, which is the why she got the sin of envy, because of it was her, you know, envy of her being like, you know, the actual top tier, you know, captain, and which is why she's envy. And she's also jealous of Meliodas, of basically on his life, etc. Yeah, so that's why she is the sin of envy. So which is why she got the title Sin of Envy. So there we go. That is this week's episode. Overall, the score, I will probably give this episode. The feels were strong. I'm not gonna lie. The feels were actually strong for this episode. I really did like the way this was actually set up, and I think the flashback, from judging from the preview, looks like the flashback is pretty much done. So we should be getting back to things. And if that's the case, then that's all fine with me. But yeah, when it comes to a certain episode, and especially when it comes to the Flash, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. It was actually a pretty damn good episode. I actually really did like the interesting aspects we got on why she was the sin of envy, and why, you know, she actually finally teamed up with Meliodas, and why she sort of had this love feeling for Meliodas, even though it was really King, but her jumbles of memories were all screwed up. So, overall, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, about a 4 out of 5 episode. Yeah, about a 4 out of 5 makes a pretty damn good episode. So, a pretty damn good episode. It wasn't like top tier, yo, rating level, but it's still a pretty damn good episode overall. Let me know what you think. Episode 8 does look pretty cool, though. It looks like we are finally getting back into the awesome, the greatness action once again. So, looking forward to that for next week's episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of this week's episode of the 7 Deadly Sins, Season 2, Episode 7. See you guys next week for episode 8 for next week. See you then. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Click on that bell to join the squad, please. Get the notifications of my video. Follow my social media plugins and my gamer tags as well. Peace, soul, love, chicken grease, and the sky is the limit. And my manga fans, keep supporting Rich Read What You Watch. I'll see you guys next week.